Hello and welcome back to the Fox Strength Performance YouTube channel. I am Taylor Fox, and this is another press session at Power Build. So this is going a ways back into the prep for Battle at the Bridge. Let's start off with some mobility here. So this session is mainly going to include pressing out of the rack. This has been my big mission of late and still continuing, is trying to get better mobility, get a better position in the front rack for pressing. So those are some of the kind of exercises I was working on in the beginning for movement prep. And then after that, we get into the pressing. So I'm going to be working up in sets of 5. I do really like ascending sets. It's something I program a lot for myself as well as for my clients. I just really feel like it works because you do the set with like the lower weight and you keep just graduating onto the next set, and I don't think like it's gonna fatigue you too much. Like, you really, especially for strongman, should be accustomed to this kind of work where like you can do a set of 5 and then move up in weight and do another set of 5, and like it's not gonna affect those latter sets. I do feel like you can do like where you work up to like a top set or like a top single and then you do your back offs. I just feel like a lot of times I would see lifters, they would get up to that top set or like close to it and be like, no, I don't feel good today, and just kind of bail on it. Whereas sometimes you just need that little bit more volume to get the nervous system going. Do a couple sets of 5, like 185, 135, 185, and you're moving a little bit better, like everything's kind of clicking a little bit more than if you had just like done a single at that weight and moved on. So now we're getting up to 225. I really tried to like prioritize the clean in this prep, but there were days I was just like, I just need to press out of the rack and try to get the volume in. So this is going to be my top set, 275. If you're wondering why the lights are flickering, it's because I accidentally shot it in slow-mo and then had to kind of reconstitute the speed of the video. So that stumble there is really, it frustrates me, and it's going to like cost me a little bit in the set, but moving pretty well otherwise. And I was really pushing for like top sets of 6 to 8 for these 2 to 3 weeks. And 8 there, and I was kind of just like, I don't think it's worth it to keep extending and trying to like block out another rep or 2. I think I definitely had 9 in me, but 10 was questionable, and it's like, is it really worth it at that point? Especially like out of the rack pressing, like that much fatigue. But I thought that was good. Like, I really feel like I'm more comfortable with, like, I want that 275 for 10. That's been kind of a staple for a long time. But for 8, like, I would say with a stumble, I'm pretty comfortable, was solid. And then I was like, I'm going to work up to 315. I believe may have been 305. But kind of just an easy double here to top it off after hitting that set of 8. I really like that, and that comes out of like a lot of 5-3-1 training, joker sets or extra sets, singles and doubles after you've done a high rep set. I feel like are a nice way to just kind of get some extra training in. Get more comfortable with those heavy weights, especially like after a fatiguing set. It gives you that opportunity to hit something heavy, but you're not like put all your eggs in one basket for that session. So like I said, like some people walk up and it's like that single didn't feel good and they like get frustrated and don't want to do the rest of the session. Like the joker sets after the working sets can be a nice way to like avoid that and also get your singles in. So we're doing some pin pressing after that, seated pin pressing, pull-ups, and then this single arm PAL off press. that I kind of came up with. You'll notice like the giant sets here, like this is pretty early on in the training block, so like this is really where I was hammering more of the work capacity, really incorporating the giant sets, keeping things moving, like a lot of exercise variety. So yeah, like it was a lot of stuff like this. I did prioritize like the push press, and I was like, I'm just gonna push press. But in previous sessions, like I would include some of this stuff in there, and I just feel like this is very valuable. Like you're kind of eliminating those weak points, compensation patterns, like making sure things are balanced out, and then you're also able to get the heavy training in. Again, like I don't think it should be that big a factor where like it's like too overly fatiguing and it's hindering your progress on the barbell. Like I feel like that's kind of silly, and especially in a sport like strongman, you should be able to do this kind of stuff. And if you want to get better, a lot of times it's the kind of thing that you have to do, because sometimes you just hit that point like you're statically strong, you move well as far as like a speed component, but that capacity to do like medleys or just one event after another is really important, and might be like that link that you need to get yourself over the top. So this was one I really tried to push a lot this session. Just like military pressing and high incline in general, I really wanted to get stronger, be able to do a little bit more with. There is kind of like a ceiling to the pin pressing. Maybe at some point I needed to just kind of go back to an original like military press or a high incline and have that eccentric component in there, because you get to the point where it's just like you can't get that weight moving from the pins as well. So you go from hitting, a certain weight and it feels pretty good for some reps to like kind of the max is it's a little bit lower than you would normally think, but it's just breaking inertia, getting that weight moving off the pins from that position. It's like a tough position, it can be really difficult. But overall, I was happy with the work I put in with it. I feel like I definitely got stronger and hit some nice heavy weights at some different angles going through this. And then we get into the JM press with chains. I really, really like this through this prep, and I was happy that they got some chains at Power Build. They're certainly not like a plethora of them, but I believe these are 20 pounds. So 40 pounds total on the bar for the chain weight. And then I kind of just like add a red or add a blue and go for it with like some heavier weight. So today, two blues. Sometimes I do like a red and a blue, just depending on like how I was feeling. You also have to account for like the Elite FTS yoke bar is 65 pounds, so we're hitting a good chunk of weight here. But I felt like getting these in really heavy was important. Like, I felt like my triceps grew a lot from doing this. And that like positioning is rough with the chains and everything, like bringing it down and trying to get that right track to the forehead. But like I felt like once I like kind of got used to it, did a couple sessions, which I think is like what you want to be doing too, is like building session after session, like getting more comfortable with the movement, increasing the weight or increasing the reps you can do at a certain weight. Like you want to be progressing in some way with your accessories, just like you are with your main movements. So being able to do multiple sets of 6 here was like a big thing for me. Certainly a big win to like show that I had that tricep strength, and then I was building it up compared to weeks ago. I would say even like weeks ago was like kind of a mess. Like even just the straight weight on here. And sometimes I would do just like this, like repeated heavy sets of 6. And other times I would do a couple sets of 6 and then pull the chains off and try to get like 6, 8, 10 with just a straight weight. But went pretty heavy today, and then we moved on to some dumbbell crush press. My previous video I showed this doing with the bands, but here just straight weight, I believe with the hundreds in the gym. It was just a good way to get some like accessory like dumbbell pressing in. I felt like I had like kind of exhausted the higher angles, so I just wanted some stimulus for the chest. And normally, like if I had my way and like no, people and unlimited space to myself, I would just do a giant set of these with face pulls, but can't really do that all the time in a gym with a lot of people. So I was like, I'll hit the dumbbells first and then come back to the face pulls, and actually did face pulls into tricep push down. So to separate the exercises made sense as well. Here we are, like getting the face pulls in. I really like the lying face pull, and with that grip, I feel the rear delts a lot more. This is actually something like I heard from Dana Lynn Bailey, so I was like, let's use it because her shoulders are huge. Recently, and this video will come out soon after this, I was watching a Sam Sulek video, and he'll do it with a bench, and kind of like the cable attachment is straight up and down, so you're just pulling straight down. And I tried that in my garage, and I felt like it was pretty good. Like I feel like it gave a lot of stimulus to the rear delts, and I like didn't have to lay on the floor. It was nice. I was able to just lay down on a bench and do it. But I got a lot of work out of this kind of superset of doing the face pulls and then hopping up. I would usually cut the weight in half and then do some high rep between 15 and 25 reps on tricep pushdowns. And it would hammer this for like 2 to 3 sets. And I felt like it was really good. I was getting a lot out of the face pulls, but then like after doing the main movements, the barbell work, and then the heavy tricep accessory, and then just a little bit of a finisher at the end was nice. Like I felt like I built up some good triceps, strength, stamina, lean muscle mass from doing this. So I was pretty happy with it. I will say now that my elbows feel like crap, but this is always a good one. Like I don't feel like the push down builds the strength as much, but like the more blood flow you can get through the elbows, and it's just kind of like safe, easy volume. Like there's other exercises like lying extensions are great, but then sometimes I get the stress on the olecranon, stress on the tricep tendon. So you want to make sure that like you're balancing that out with like other exercises where you can still get the volume in and don't feel that as much. And I almost like hit this with the weight that I was doing for tricep pushdowns and fell over. So that wouldn't have been great. But yeah, so it's obviously you saw like the full range. You saw exercises that are going to be stressful, but obviously I need that bang for the buck, and I'm all in on strongman training, and then you're seeing this now to finish off, which isn't as stressful, just getting some more volume in, but definitely feeling that burn in the muscle. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, keep lifting those heavy weights and hold strong.